Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to start one of two new series. Both of them will be called What If Deku Had the Powers of Lantern Corps? So, the lanterns from DC Comics. There's green, blue, red, yellow, continuing like that. I'm going to start for the evil one, because it's going to be an evil one and a hero one. For the villain one, he is going to have the powers of a Red Lantern Corps, which are basically light construct. His blood is acid, he is filled with rage, and rarely see reason in trying to, well, not fight. This is not a what if Izuku had a lantern's ring. He is directly a power source himself, and he can manifest all of the powers that they normally have. Because there won't be any other lantern cores in their universes. They just have powers that are basically that. And they can train to get stronger, and a lot of things can happen to make them better. So basically, he is going to be, for the evil one, he will have the red powers. So basically what's happening, well, what will happen is that when he is born, he will, well, how can I say this? He will be born and have some kind of, well, how can I'm trying to find how to say how it will be, but when he's born, he was basically already full of anger. Like, he seemed always mad but just kind of like irritated. So not fully mad in the way like always trying to break stuff. Basically like Bakugo, in fact. That's what I should have said from the start. He's basically like Bakugo, but from the moment he's born. So basically they do everything like a normal kid would. Oh yeah, also, I said that he will have every power from them, and that a Red Lantern is his blood is acid. The red power, well, the powers of the red basically immunize them from their own blood, as well as letting them actually spit it out. When they spit it out, their body basically regens, remakes more automatically. So no, they could literally be barfing up their blood for like an entire day without missing any, even though they would throw up a lot more than what normal people would be able to. So at some point where they do well, for every kid they give shots, basically when they go to do that, when it's about the time to do it, they enter the needle, and when they pull it back, it's literally melted. Like, there's not a lot of things left from it. The reason they pulled it back that super fast is because basically they started pushing and the liquid in it, well, the vaccine was basically already flowing on his skin. So they tried to test it. Basically, they said that they were going to have to make a small cut on him. When they did, basically his blood was directly melting through, well, whatever he was on at the time. Okay, if you look at the time on my phone, you'll see that basically I waited for a while. That's because my grandpa decided to come that almost midnight was the perfect time to come and fold some laundry. So I had to stop for a while. So, okay, like I was saying, they told Inko and Hisashi that they had to find out what caused it. They had to cut his skin because if it was actually that he was making some acid or something when he's hurt, they needed to know because if yes, it's extremely dangerous, or if it's something else. So they made a small cut and they saw that the blade started melting and that the blood he had while it started falling on the ground was basically destroying everything, well, under that. So he was basically destroying a lot of things because of it. And they just kind of saw that, okay, yeah, his blood is literally acid, and his body is probably just was made to actually survive that. So after after a while, basically they made, well, they went looking for a place to make specific things for baby clothes, which was basically something made like kind of a skin suit to make sure that his blood wasn't getting anywhere else, since they saw that his body isn't affected at all by it. So they made sure, and so, well, basically every clothes he had in that, from now up till way later, every piece of them is going to be made so that his acid doesn't pass through, and basically the only thing that isn't in a skin suit for him to not basically bleed on everything is, well, you know, not get destroyed. Well, the only thing that's showing is his face. So um after a while they met, but, well, he met with Bakugo. Over time they grew up together, and basically they only thought that was his quirk and that he was born with it. He was The moment Bakugo got his quirk, basically he tried to kind of show off to Izuku, which had basically them was basically a normal kid, happy but most of the time irritated. So um yeah, what happens is that at some point Basically, Bakugo decides to kind of try to bully him because his quirk isn't showing a lot, and the only way his quirk would be useful is if he keeps getting hurt. So, for anyone, it would seem as a weak quirk because basically the only way for him right now to actually use his blood would be to be cut, which normally people don't really want. So at a certain point, Bakugo started trying to bully him, and at one point he decided to throw an explosion to Deku, even though they're not that big. And when he just thought protect, like he he wanted to shield himself, raising his arm, and basically thought at the same time protection, and basically a bubble of some kind of red light just appear around him, which everyone saw, everyone that was there basically. And when everyone basically told him to open his eyes and that he saw it, he basically dropped it. And then he started, after a while, trying, well, basically, he tried to see how it worked because it was weird. He got that when he is angry or stuff like that, well, not really, but the angrier he gets, the stronger they are. He knows how to make the light construct, and he's basically able to do them whenever he wants. So let's say time skip to when he's about 10. He's basically able to do light construct that are always red. He's not able to make different colors. Um, every time he's angry and that he does one, for some reason they get stronger the angrier he is. And so at some point he basically, let's say that since, like I said, it's a power that's basically like being a red lantern with a ring but without needing a ring, or the lantern to charge himself, he's basically making that energy constantly. But if he trains it, he can make more over time. Well, so basically continuously being able to do bigger constructs, stronger constructs, and doing more of them as well. So, well, when he was 10, one day something happened with basically his mom going to the store with him staying at home. Um, no. He was going with his mom to a store. So they were going there, and then a robbery happened with multiple people kind of using their quirks, kind of put everyone, well, tell everyone to stay on the ground, stuff like that. And then they take a hostage, which is Inko. So when Inko basically gets taken hostage, Izuku wants to protect her. Basically, he goes to make a light construct, but the villain, well, the robber, basically puts his hand near her and makes a a kind of white flame, and he says if anyone tries anything, she dies instantly, basically putting his hand on a wall, and the wall just kind of seemed to melt, like just like if it was ice. It becomes kind of like a simple liquid like water. And he says, if anyone do anything, I do that to her, pointing to Inko. So Izuku doesn't do anything, up until at some point a hero arrives. He goes to hit him, and when he gets hit, basically what happens is that he basically puts his hand on Inko's face, melting her completely, with the hero being horrified. Well, not as much as Izuku, who basically just saw his mom die because a hero was a freaking idiot. And so he started, instead of loving heroes, he started having the same kind of mindset as Stain, that some heroes only wants to have fame and stuff like that. Because after the hero stopped everyone, he basically said that the loss was sad and stuff like that, but at least no one else will get hurt from that, which really pissed off Izuku, making him think that basically he wasn't mad or sad that someone died. So Izuku stopped wanting to be a hero and started wanting to kill heroes that weren't truly heroes, which augmented the rage boost. When that happened, he basically ran away. Well, I would say from home, but he wouldn't stay there anyway. Basically, Bakugo's mom, I always forget her name. I think it's Mitsuki. She basically adopts him for a while until he runs away, which Bakugo kind of saw coming because he saw how mad he was every time a hero was there. So basically, well, a lot of heroes were told about this. Posters were placed there, almost everywhere. And the thing that happened with Izuku was basically that he ran away, and for the first time, because of the rage, he started flying. Because, let's say he was running somewhere, and at one point he basically fell and just thought, I have to continue going. And while falling, he basically started continuing flying, continuing by flying, and he basically just started to go faster and faster. So he was basically just on an island somewhere training just to be able to be stronger than basically any heroes. He wanted to be stronger than All Might, stronger than everyone. So for the next 4 years of his life, up until the UA entrance exam, nobody even heard of him. With him basically growing, basically deciding to make a suit for himself, basically since he knows he's able to create things that can last for practically ever if he wants to. Like if the lanterns want to, they can make a box in some area and just kind of detach it from them, and it stays there for practically ever until it's broken. So he basically thinks like that and makes a suit for himself that basically looks exactly like a Red Lantern suit. So, like, literally, there's only Bakugo in a Red Lantern suit. So basically, it looks like, well, not like that, but wait. When he's transformed, he basically looks like that, with the hair changing color as well. Basically, looking like there are flames. And basically able to do everything he can normally. So, yeah. In the UA entrance exam, instead of Izuku, it is someone else named. Um, Wait, I completely forgot her name now. Tuore Tanako. Basically, that's the full name that she will have. She will have two quirks. One is called Switch. Basically, if she sees someone, no matter how far she is from them, as long as she's at least able to see them, like it could be a kilometer away, if she's at least able to see the person, she can switch with that person. And her second quirk is called, why can't I remember everything? Okay, so yeah, her first quirk is called Swap, which is basically what I explained, and her second one is called Lightning Skin. Lightning Skin is basically that she can create, well, it's basically almost the same thing as for Kamnari, except that she first isn't affected by her electricity or any other electricity, that her body can absorb it, and that when she launches it, it's basically the same speed as normal lightning compared to his, that moves a lot slower. So her quirk is basically an upgraded version of his, and that's basically it. She has pink hair, she is the same size as Izuku in the anime. She has blue eyes. Um, yeah, pretty much that. So, basically, she takes his place in Class 1A. She also saves Ochako by basically swapping with her and then basically sending every bit of energy she had up, as well as gaining one for all. Well, getting one for all from All Might. So she basically boosted her quirk with one for all and Sand the Blast that basically destroyed it. So she's in Class 1A, everyone else is at the same time. So basically, while all that happens, Izuku is met by Shigaraki. Shigaraki tells him about the League of Villains, stuff like that, and that they're trying to kill All Might, which Izuku does not want. He accepts to go with them, but only because what he wants to do is make sure that All Might survive and that no other false hero can stay alive or stay fighting. He will kill a lot of people, but up till now he basically only killed animals and stuff like that, or people that basically came to his island and that he didn't want to see. Basically his island looks like well, basically a desolated place now, since he doesn't need to eat that much. When he needs to eat, he basically just goes to other place, grabs stuff to eat, and eats that. And he learned that he has an unlimited amount of blood and that he can basically spit it out as long as he wants. So the island is basically destroyed by acid, plagued by sickness because of all the animals that were destroyed but left there to kind of rot. So over time they kind of started producing sickness that other animal got. So the island is basically a place that you would need quarantine because of all the shit that's on it because of deku. But yeah, so like I was saying, um, he said yes to Shigaraki, but only to make sure that he can save All Might and make sure that heroes that are not true heroes from what he sees, basically exactly like Stain, but with a little more place for other ideology. So basically, as long as what the people want to do is save people without the care for money, or as long as they mostly want to save people and they're okay with the money, for them, well, for him, it's okay. Anyone else who just basically wants money over everything else, he's going to kill. So, if they want money for a good reason, and that being a hero is basically the fastest way, he won't kill them, but he won't just leave them alone. No, he will not do anything to Roraka, because basically the only person that knows it are Ida and um, Tuare, since they had the same talk. So, when it comes to it, when the attack on the USG happens, um, Izuku's there, and basically every time, well, the moment he saw 13 and Aizawa, he thought, okay, I don't care if they get hurt, but he mustn't, he, they need to survive, at least. So, basically, when 13 was hurt, he did want to go and try to help, but he saw that he was still alive. And then the other moment where what happened was Aizawa going to be killed, basically, and that the kids arrived on the shore. What he saw was the Nomu going after 3 kids that were completely innocent, which he doesn't want to hurt, and basically just came face to face with it and basically just placed a shield around them. Shigaraki asked him what he was doing, and so Izuku said, I don't care about heroes that are bad. I want to save true heroes. But every other one that only wants money or fame can die. But kids, those are off limit. It was like I told you. You want to kill All Might, and I decided to stop that happening. But you're still able to send your message. If you try to harm these kids, though, you're going to have problems. Which Shigaraki basically tells the Nomu, kill him. And just before the Nomu is able to go and hit Izuku, Oh yeah, as well the other three heard it. Um, Basically, All Might came crashing through the door, not smiling, and he saw the Nomu, the students, a kid in a red suit with fire hair, basically in a bubble around them, with the Nomu basically trying to break it, and just went directly to the Nomu, hitting it pretty hard. He looked at Izuku and told him take the kids away. Basically, not even trying to know he was. He just saw that he was protecting the kids, and that was good enough for him for now. Basically, he went up, send, made a light construct that bubbled every kid, and brought them to the entrance, placing them there, as well as grabbing Aizawa and bringing him there. Then he asked him why he standed there doing nothing if he didn't want them to die or to get hurt, which he says, I never said I didn't want heroes to get hurt. The only heroes that I want to protect are true heroes. You are just close enough to that to be able to stay alive in my standards. So be happy. So basically, All Might and the Numu fights like normal. This time Shigaraki tries to go and attack him, which Izuku basically sees, zooms directly in front of him, makes a light contract that basically grabs his hand, and cuts them off. So Shigaraki loses his quirk. When that happens, basically they he tells Kurogiri to teleport him. He tried to grab his hand, but Izuku basically um, barfed on them, which melted them completely, as well as melting a big part of the floor under it. And then basically told All Might to dock and send a laser through the Nomu's head. So after that happened, All Might basically started coughing a bit, not as much as in the original, because he didn't have to fight the Nomu for as long, not even close, in fact. So he didn't lose all of the power he had. He asked Izuku who he was and what he was doing here, and he basically said, I'm trying to make the world a better place by taking away a false hero. You should go help your friend back there. He he's probably close to he probably needs help right now. And basically not jumps off, but creates teleports to somewhere else, because I'm pretty sure not a lot of people knows that, but they can first every lantern can open a portal to a bucket dimension, or basically creates portal to from one place to another. Most of the time they just stay in space, going by flying, but he learned to do portals, and he's basically using that to teleport anywhere he needs. So he basically gets out with one. When the other heroes arrive, basically they just see every student, All Might, right there. 13 and Aizawa hurt. And so they ask what happened. Then they're told everything. The kid that basically saved them even though he was still a villain. All Might telling them what he told him. Um, I saw the two kids telling them, well, the three kids telling everyone what they heard. And so now there's basically a wanted poster for him. And they basically gave him a name because they didn't get one. One person thought of something and remembered about a kid that he knew a long time ago, that for a while was his sibling, well, adopted sibling, but he didn't want to believe it because, well, even though it's Bakugo, people that were or under him or close to him, he always thinks that, okay, yeah, he was good, he cannot do something bad. Or he sees the best in people, or he sees the worst. There's no middle. And he still sorry about that. He still sees Izuku as in the good side. So Izuku basically just teleported to somewhere else, while Shigaraki, back in the villain hideout, talked with All for One, and All for One was mad, but at the same time he saw that the kid had a lot of potential. And the only reason he did that was because Shigaraki was about to break one of the four only rules that Izuku gave him. First, if you want to harm All Might, do it, but as long as he's still able to be alive. So just stop him, like breaking his legs and arm or something, which they decided to accept, to not kill him just because they wanted him on their side. Second one was don't harm any innocents. So bystanders and anything while he is there. While he's not there, he doesn't care what they do. But in his presence, they do not do that. 3. They can harm heroes as much as they want, and if they are true heroes, as long as they don't kill them. So any other heroes, he would have probably let them pass and let them kill them, but they kind of stuck with Aizawa and 13 because they knew that rule. But since Shigaraki wanted to make All Might mad, he tried to harm kids, which was the last rule, and basically All for One went off on um, Shigaraki, saying that what he did was basically dumb because the kid is stronger than him by a huge amount, and that every other and that this was one of the four only rules he had to follow for him to stay on their side, and he literally broke two of them at once. Don't harm kids and don't harm innocents. If they don't fight back, you can't harm them, which basically they were innocent for that because they didn't even try to harm and fight. Um, so basically, what happened is that Shigaraki lost his hand. They still got more people for the League of Villain. They tried to make prosthetic arms for him. That didn't work well with his quirk. And so, one for all, no, All All for One decided to try and give him a new quirk, which would be different, but hopefully work. The quirk he gave him was basically just a mm, air cannon or something. Basically, with his hand, he can send massive amount of air, compressing it or stuff like that. He basically gave him that, but well, in the anime, he All for One had that. But what he's giving him is basically he can breathe in and send a massive amount of pressurized air to anyone by spitting out, which mixed with his quirk, and basically when he does that, his quirk is basically in it and it starts breaking apart everything there. So basically his decay quirk is now connected to that quirk, and so when he uses that, everything that the air touches starts to decay. That's basically going to be his new quirk. So basically the heroes, the school, and a lot of teachers knows about that. And some of them saw how Izuku was kind of shocked by what happened. Well, Bakugo. Because they saw Bakugo basically being a mean guy every day, always, to literally having, for some reason, a look of terror and a look of thinking like, I need it to get what is happening. It can't be him. Something's not right. And so someone asked him, and then he tells them about Izuku. Well, the one who asked is basically Tuare, because she really thought it was weird for him to act like that. And so he explained that about Izuku, what happened to him, what happened to his mom, and that he disappeared one day just because he decided to run away. And so basically, she's asking him if he thinks that it was him, which he says, I'm pretty sure it's not because of the hair, and that most of that his eyes were different when it is him, only because of his quirky, well, because of the lantern's power, his eyes turns red, and that his hair are basically fire looking. So he's saying that it mustn't be that, it must be someone with a similar quirk, mostly because Izuku couldn't vomit acid, he had acid blood instead. Which he basically says, well, maybe it's just that he's able to barf it up now, which he tried to push down because he didn't want it to be true. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. What do you think of it? Seriously, I am. I was thinking about this one for a while. Tomorrow, well, later today actually, I'm going to do two other series I already have, and the hero part of this one, which will be a deku with another color that's basically going to be in the hero school. So yeah, this was part zero, well, part one of what if Deku had the power of a lantern core, well, of a red lantern core. Hope you liked it. Natsu.